Daf Ayin Gimel.
Take us into Shabbos.
It's going to be fun. Let me just tell you. What? All right. We're holding, unbelievable. We got like 8 lines down into Ayin Gimel. It's borderline usser what we did. But
it makes me so happy. You got that 8 lines.
No, it's one of the Yizurim.
We are past the halfway mark.
Halfway mark in Chullin. Unbelievable. Says the Gemara. It says in the Mishnah, Maga Treifa Shchuta. So the Mishnah brings down a machlokes that if you cut the ubar's foot, the foot comes out, it's a yoytzei. The foot is Ever Min Achai. You cut the foot has tumah to it, tumas Ever Min Achai. Does the tumah transmit to the rest of the uber's body? The answer is yes. According to Rameir, the regular tumah of nevela transmits from the foot to the rest of the body. How does it transmit?
Yes.
By cutting it, because when you cut it, there's some sort of, one shot is the cut, the one shot is kechatoch domi.
It has to be after it's cut. Meaning, not on the side of kechatoch domi, but on the side that you're cutting, then it's all still mechuber. It's only the last split second that you cut.
Right. There's an interesting thesis that says it's a thick knife, so when it comes down, so then it falls,
But it still can't be b'shas ma'aser.
Right. Very good point. If it's still connected. According to the other Shita, Ravina says that it's still connected, but it's kechatoch dami. It's as if it's sliced, and therefore it's touching. Anyways, but that was yesterday's shir. All questions on yesterday's shir yesterday. But Chachamim say that it's not tomei tumas nevela, it's tomei tumas treifa. We always learned that treifa and nevela, what's the difference between treifa and nevela? Nevela is tomei, and a treifa is not tomei, that the shechita has enough power in it to remove the tumah from it. So ask the Gemara, Chachamim maga treifa shchuta mi metamya? It's not tomei. So then what did you accomplish by saying that it's treifa shchuta? Maga treifa shchuta. Says Gemara, there is tumah, kedavur de Shmuel, like Shmuel's father, the Omer avur de Shmuel, treifa sheshachta metamo b'mugdashim. Says the Gemara, and this is we said a bunch of times, that what? That treifa is metame midrabanan. So say you have a mother animal in the Beis Hamikdash being shechted, and her fetus sticks out her hand. So Mamela, you okay? Everything say there? The fetus stuck out its hand. So the whole animal, the fetus, becomes tamei because of tumas treifa, because it's kodesh. Only in mugdashim, it's a gzeira derabbanan. All right, so Nachum also, we asked the Shaila, what's the difference between a nevela and a treifa? A nevela is tamei, treifa is not tamei. But treifa is tamei in one specific case, in mugdashim. Says the Gemara,
which could have been good.
The baby.
Unless you couldn't do anything anyway. You can't offer the baby as a korban.
Right, but you could eat it. You could eat it, maybe. But so what do you do with it? Could you eat it outside? What are we talking about? What kind of carbon? What could be inside? A chatos. So so you probably can't eat it. Can't take it outside. So the Gemara is going to bring down a conversation between Rameir and Rabbanon, and then repeat the conversation word for word, actually with a little bit more clarity the second time around. So we're going to get it free because it's Erev Shabbos. It's going to be a little bit easier for us to get to the bottom of the Amud. Tanya Omalem Rameir according to you, the shchit of the mother, if this aver, Rameir holds that if the fetus sticks out its hand, the hand is tomei, tumas nevela. Chachamim are mechulik. So Remeir tells Chachamim, according to you, why is it not nevela? Because you shechted the mother, and the mother has power over her fetus to take away the tumah of nevela, the hard tumah of nevela. If it has so much power that it removes tumah, so why can't that also allow you to eat that aver that came out? If the aver is out and you can't eat it, so it should have no power over it to remove tumah. And if you could remove tumah, even though it's out, so then you should be able to eat it. What's going on here? So they told him, a mother's body is not as good as protecting herself as protecting her young. Because we saw that if you leave inside her body her own kidney, if you chopped off a piece of her kidney or her spleen, it becomes Ever Menachai. You left it inside the mother. Talking about the mother. You chop off a piece of her spleen during a surgery, whatever, it's floating around in her body. That becomes Ever Menachai. And her shchita is not matter that piece. But if you chop off her fetus's leg, or any part of the fetus's leg, body, and it floats around in her stomach, and then you do shchita, you're allowed to eat any piece, even though it's not connected. So you see that the mother has more power over her uber than she has on herself. No, so what's the shaykhs? What was the answer? It doesn't really answer.
Strengthens the question. Yeah, strengthens the question.
Okay, so the Gemara says, Michael Amri, what's going on here? Says the Gemara, and some people say, Stam chesur mechsura. No, there's a whole piece missing. We just said the beginning and the end, but there's a conversation here. According to you, why is this foot that stuck out not an avela? Shchita simoy. Yeah, okay, so that's the beginning. If so, let it be. By the way, this is not the second time. This is not the repetition yet. This is the repetition of this is a continuation. It's going to be repeated again. Say for the ratio. Very good. So if the shchita is strong enough to remove nevela, it should also be mutter to eat. And here's the part that's missing. No. There's a concept called treif in the world. You have an animal, a regular animal has a hole in its heart, you shecht it, you cannot eat it, but it's not an avela. So here's the concept. I can't eat this foot, okay, but it's not tamei. The shchita is good enough to remove tumah, but not to give it a hechsher on eating. What do you bring me a raya from treifa? Treifa, the shchita works on the animal that you're shechting. How does that logic work to a piece of a fetus's body that's sticking out of her goof? Why would that shchita work? Yes, you're right. In treifa, which you shecht herself with the knife, then it removes the nevela and doesn't give you the heter to eat. But why should it help you to be matir a nevela of a foot that's sticking out of a fetus? What shaykhs does it have to?
Only if you say that chatufa is keman de chatufa.
Whoa. How's that? What?
It's still connected to the behemoth inside. It's not chatufa yet.
Wow, where did you come up with that one? Stop. No, but it's yotzei. It's yotzei. It's isri yotzei. So how does a mother shchita help on an isri yotzei? Everybody agrees it's yotzei. There's no shayla in that.
Cool.
If it's keman kechatach dami, then it makes it much worse. It's not connected to the animal b'chlal. Then of course the shchita has no shaychas.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And then it should be every
If
menachai.
you don't say that, it's keman de chatufa domi.
You still don't see that it's part of the mother. The only thing you see is that...
I think you're confusing something. Keman de chatuch dami only helps us for Hester, Beis HaSeiser, Beis HaStarim. Not in the halachas of every menachai and that kind of stuff. It just says it's not hidden. The place of the shechita is not hidden it's wide open, and therefore they're touching each other in a wide open place. The tumah is open. I don't think that has anything to do with this sugya. I'll go upon him. If it does, we're in big trouble. Okay, on that, finally, the final answer. You're asking me, how does the shechit of the mother have any kind of connection to the baby's foot that's sticking out? I'll tell you how. You see that shechita works for parts of the baby that were cut off and not even attached to the baby anymore. Not kechotuch dami. Chotuch mamish, floating around the stomach, you could eat them through the shechita of the mother. If you chop off the ear of a fetus, and the ear is floating in the umbilical sac somewhere, but not connected to the fetus, then you shech the mother, you could eat that ear. It's not connected. The mother's shechita has tremendous power over her baby. But if you chop off the mother's spleen, and it's floating around in her stomach, and then you shecht it, you can't eat the spleen. So you see, her power over her baby is stronger than on herself, on her own self.
Why should we say that?
Because the mother's aver, when you chop it, becomes aver menachai on the spot.
Even though it's inside?
Yeah. It's a spleen that's cut off from her body, floating inside. But the baby has a different thing. It's not aver menachai. It's a fetus floating in her body, and she has properties over the fetus. I think that's the svar. Okay, so Atkan Akof Aleph, and now we're repeating word for word, a little bit better maybe, a little bit more understandable, but it's mamish the same thing. We get now like 8 lines for free. Tanya Nameochi, and we learned the same exact thing. This was Rava saying it, and now we have a Mefurish Brisa that says what Rava says. How did you remove the tumas nevela from this foot that's sticking out? The mother. If the mother's shchita was matter the tuma, so it should be mattered to be eaten. No, I have this concept, treifa. Obviously, you can't eat a treifa because it has a hole in its heart, but it's not tummy after it dies, after you shecht it. Okay, when you shecht one animal that's a treifa, the shechita has a property over it, over that animal. And even hanging, and we're going to get into this whole sugya of Eivra Meduldul, of a limb that's just hanging from that animal itself. So if you have an animal whose limb is hanging by a thread, by some sort of, right? It happens all the time in the jungle. They try to get it and it ran away. But the mice, it has a leg that's hanging by I don't know if skin is enough. I don't know. I think it has to be a little bit more than skin. Maybe like a blood vessel or something. Okay, so let's say skin. I'm not sure. I thought I saw that it's not mefurish now, but the way they describe it, it was like more like some sort of chiyus maybe. I don't know. Davar shegufo tetayir seuber sheinu gufo. Davar shegufo. This midaldel, this basa that's hanging by a thread is its own body. So I can understand where the shechita is matter that piece. It's still part of it. Tetayir seuber sheinu gufo. But what's the shaykhus is related to a baby that's not her, especially when it's sticking out of her stomach already. That aver is sticking out of her stomach. So what shaykhus does it have to the mother? You see that she has the power over the baby more than she has on herself. I'm just thinking like a Hasidic Levi, you'd love this Gemara, no? A mother has more shaykhis to the baby than she has to herself. It's like it's a musar thing here. Like physically, she's physically more in tune with her child than herself. What?
Until he leaves.
Who?
Child.
Yeah.
It's a yaitza.
Ah. Okay, fine. Fine. Yeah.
Always pregnant, always
Yes.
remain her baby. Will always remain her baby.
Amar Rav Shimon ben Lakish. Says Rish Lakish. Kemachloikis beubrin kach machloikis beivar. We just finished the machloikis Remeir Chachamim. If the shechita of the mother has power over her child's her who Uber's foot. So what about her own foot? Does it have power? Kemachloikis beubarin kach machloikis beivar. If you have an aver that's dangling, very good. Is the shechita matter its own aver, dangling aver? No. The machlokes is only by the fetus's foot. The behema, the be'akol, shechita oisa nipol. Okay. Now we have to pause for a second. This word, this concept we're going to learn about shechita oisa nipol, we have to lafnim it. How do you say in English? We have to internalize this word because it's not as simple as it sounds. Nipol basically comes from a pasuk that we're going to have tomorrow. Yipo. It's not. It doesn't line up with the way we would think. Basically, it means that shechita creates that it fell off before it was shechted. Okay, that's what you have to remember here. If you shecht an animal, it detached beforehand. Big nafkimino. If you have a dangling limb, when did it detach? If it detached before shechita, then it's eber min achai. If it detached after shechita, then it's a shechted animal. Then it's an aveil. Then it's whatever it is, right? So it depends when it detached. It's a big nafkimino. What's the nafkimina between Ever Menachai and Nevela? Lahalacha. What's the nafkimina lahalacha? Something that's Tomei Ever Menachai and something that's Tomei Tumas Nevela. Huge nafkimina. Nafkimina is for a piece of meat coming off that Ever. Ever Menachai means an Ever, a full limb off an animal. So if its whole leg came off, and then you take a giant piece of meat off that leg, it's not Tomei. But in the Vela, everything in it is. Yeah. It's Tomei like Tumas Nevela, but it's Ever Menachai. It's called Tumas Ever Menachai.
That's Tumas Nevela.
Like Tumas Nevela.
So if I take a piece off of that meat, why?
No, then that piece is not Nevela. The Aver is Tomei Tumas Nevela.
Only when it's
It has to be an Aver. So if you take off a piece of the Aver, it's not Tomei Tumas. So if you say shechita oisa nipol, shechita makes it fall beforehand. Nipol means beforehand. That's what you have to remember. So if shechita makes it fall off beforehand, so now you're looking at an Ever Menachai. And if shechita doesn't do nipol, that means that it happened after the shechita. So let's see inside. And what if it died? Right, and what if it died? If misa eina oisa nipol, it didn't fall off before, so it fell off after, then it would be nevela. Okay, right. Says the Gemara, the whole machlokes is only between Remeir and Chachamim when the fetus sticks out its foot. But if you have a dangling limb from an animal, divrei hakol shchita oisa nipol. In other words, it fell before the shechita. In other words, according to this lashon, this is the first lashon of Rabbi Yochanan. The Gemara goes away from this, but according to everybody, the shechita doesn't work. Shechita isanipo means it doesn't work because we're looking at something that's already detached prior to the shechita. My time of the Rabbi Yochanan, and what's the logic? Now, according to Rameir, I understand. Rameir always says by Aver, it's no shaykhis to the mother, it's already detached, it's already an avela. So over here also you would say it's an avela. But why over here do Rabbanan say that it's an avela, but by a baby, by Uber, they say it's not an avela? What's the svar? It's Ever Menachai. Yeah. Hi islay takanta b'chazara, v'hai leslay takanta b'chazara. By a baby, if a baby sticks out its foot, it could pull its foot back in, and the shechita of the mother would work, right? That's what you said last night. The coming back in would work, but by medaldal, by a dangling limb, there's absolutely no fixing, and therefore,
Stitching won't help?
no, especially according to you, that it's only hanging by the skin. So memela, shchita doesn't help, and it's ever minachai. Meisvei omalar meir loy. What remained to Chachamim? Im tiar shchitas treifa oisa vesa ever medudel ba. So he says mefurish that the shchita is mitaher it. Vesa ever medudel ba. It does work. Dover shegufa, because it's its body. Titayr so uber dover shein gufa. So over here, Remeir says, if we stop for a second, Remeir says, basically the way we learned it, he's talking to Chachamim, right? He says, you agree that the shechita works, but that's okay on the mother herself. That'll work for a dangling limb. But how does it work on the baby? But he's telling them that it works, that shechita works on a dangling limb. We just said, according to everybody, there's no shechita in the world that holds that a dangling limb, shechita works. We said, even in Chachamim, there's a svara because there's no chazara, so shechita doesn't work. So how did Rameir tell him that? Bishloima, turn the page, Daf Ayin Gimel Beis. Bishloima Rishim Milakish. Now, according to Rishim Milakish, there's a machlokes between Rameir and Chachamim. So the Rem Kamerlu. That's how we learned before. I, Rameir, hold that there's no difference. The foot that comes out of the fetus stuck out his foot, it's considered an avela. And a regular animal who has a dangling aver, it's considered an aver menachai. They're both the same. But according to Rabbi Yochanan, it says that there is no machlokes between Rameir and Chachamim when it comes to a regular animal that has a dangling limb. Everybody holds that a dangling limb. The shechita doesn't work. So then, how do you understand Rameir's words? Rameir said, I understand in an animal that has a dangling limb that the shechita works to help and is machshir it. Look at the words. You're looking at me like you don't believe me. It says, what? Look at let's read the last line on Omid Aleph, or the second to last line. If the shechita of a treifa helps it, if an animal has a dangling limb, the shechita works that you could eat that aver. But you said Rabbi Yochanan, according to Lashon Aleph, Lashon Rishon in Rabbi Yochanan, a dangling aver has no hope. It's gone. It's a goner. Why is it a goner? Because you can never fix it. You can't stitch it, he said. You can't pull it back into the body, so it's a goner. Shechita doesn't work. So then what is Rameir saying? Oh, yeah, shechita works in a mother, but it doesn't work in a baby. Shechita never works in a mother and Abraham Aduldal. Yeah, it will work for treifa. The first part of Rameir is okay. Shechita's treifa, fine, but the next word, Vesa Abraham Aduldalba, makes zero sense according to Rabbi Yochanan. Where do you have a situation that a dangling shechita works to make it tar? And therefore, the Gemara has to take it back. It's a bam kasha. Elo, meaning we got to take it all back. Exact reverse. The first part, Rish Lakish is the same. Rabbi Yochanan is going to be reversed. Rish Lakish says, the same Rameir who holds that a foot that comes out of a mother is an avela, he holds that a foot that's dangling off an animal is an avela, or an ever menachai. It's treif. It's a machlokes. And Chacham will say no. Just like the foot of the baby is kosher through the shechita, so too this dangling aver is kosher. What does Rabbi Yochanan say? Rabbi Yochanan machlokes be'eved de'ubar. Al be'eved be'hema divrei hakol ein shechita isenipol. In other words, the shechita does. You don't view this aver as if it fell off before shechita. It came off after shechita. In other words, shechita works to make a dangling aver tahar. Complete opposite of what he said before.
So the power of the mother is now better than the power of the child.
The power of the mother, because she's Matayr herself,
And also
Yes.
the dangling
And-
limb.
the dangling limb, and not, according to Rameir, and not the dangling limb of a baby coming out. Yeah, that's what he said. That's mamish what he said. He said,
Everybody.
no, that's Rameir. Rameir said it to Chachamim. Chachamim said no. And on that, exactly, that's why Chachamim said, no, you see fakert, you see that the mother is stronger on the baby than on herself.
They also agree that in that matter.
Yeah, Chachamim agreed to this halacha, of course. Chachamim are the ones, Chachamim for sure say that a dangling aver is tar. The question is if Rameir says it. The dangling aver is tahar, right, tahar and also b'achila. Zog the Gemara. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Chanina, my time is Rabbi Yochanan. Now, if you remember, it's the same Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Chanina. He said a svar before on the reverse. Now he's going to have to explain it this way. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Chanina, my time is Rabbi Yochanan, Ali b'der Meir. Hi gufa v'hai lav gufa. She could be metayr herself, but she doesn't have the power to be metayr her uber's foot. Omer Rabbi Yitzchak bar Yosef, Omer Rabbi Yochanan. Now we have a raya to this lashon, not like the first lashon. Hakol moedim shemisa oisenipol. Everybody agrees that if the animal drops dead, not b'shchita, dead, then you view the aver, the medaldal, as if it was detached before it died. And therefore what? What's the difference? The animal died. The animal is in a vela. And therefore it's even menachai. Now take a piece off, it's tahar and not nevela. Hakol moedim shemisa oisenipol vein shchita oisenipol. So the first part is that if it dies, then oisenipol, meaning that the aver was detached beforehand. Oisenipol means it was detached beforehand. The ain shchita oisenipol, everybody agrees that if you shecht, then it's not. If you shecht oisenipol, so it happened after. Sorry, shemisa oisenipol ve'ein shchita oisenipol.
It makes it tar.
Right, the shchita makes it tar. B'mayaskinon ilema be'aver du ubar. If you're talking about that foot that stuck out, it can't be miflik pli. That's the machlokes in our Mishnah between Rameir and Chachamim. Elo be'aver de behema. So you're talking about aver in an animal, and there's no machlokes, he says. So that's like Rabbi Yochanan, the second shita. Says the Gemara, Misa tanino, shchita tanino. And so this is the question the Gemara always asks. Then what's the big chiddush in our sugya? We have a Mefurish Mishnah that says about Misa and says about shchita. That what? Misa tanino, that it's as if it fell off beforehand. Mesa habehema, if the animal died, habasar tzarech hechsher. Now, we know, we all are familiar with the concept that for tumah, you need hechsher tumah, you need water to sprinkle on any food. So what's machshir an animal for tumah? The shchita. But if the animal died, mesa habehema, habasar tzarech hechsher. Now, this is a big problem. If an animal died, then it doesn't need, it itself is inherently tameh. It emits tumah. It gives tumah to fruit. It's not a fruit, it is Mr. Tameh. So then why does this piece need hechsher tumah? The answer is because it's not tameh. This piece is not tameh. Why? Because it's Ever Menachai. Ever Menachai, a piece of Ever Menachai is not tameh, we said. And that piece would need a hechsher tumah. So you see mefurish that Misa is as if it was detached beforehand, before the Misa.
You're saying this Bryce is talking about a piece that was separate.
Oh, sorry. Start off. Mesa behema, if an animal died and it has a piece of meat dangling from it and it has an aver dangling from it, thank you. Now it's understood, yeah? Little better. Mesa, it has both. It has an aver and meat dangling. Habasar tzarich hechsher. The basar dangling from it needs water. Why? Because it's not tame by itself. The misa doesn't cause it nevela because it's aver menachai from beforehand. It's as if it's detached beforehand. Why? Because it's as if this aver. I know it's a little confusing. You have an animal that's walking around with a dangling foot. Is the foot attached to it halachically or not attached to it halachically? Over here it says that if it dies on its own, then it was detached beforehand. And if it was detached beforehand, then it's Ever Menachai. And if it's Ever Menachai, in order to make that it should give tumah to other things, a piece of meat from it needs water. You have to be machshir it. So you see, akopanim, that once it dies, you go retroactive and you say it was detached beforehand. Oisanipul, it detached before. Don't worry about it. Matzi Shabbos' daf is also a continuation of this nipul. Nobody's mechulek on Meir. Everybody agrees. It seems like there's no machlokes. So, if it dies by itself, you say that it was detached when it was alive. But if it was fine. Shchita nami tanina. And how do I see a Mishnah b'negiyat to shchita? Nishchato behema. If an animal was shechted, huchshuru b'domeh divrei Meir. So you see that the blood of the shchita makes everything on the animal kosher l'tuma, huchshur l'tuma, including the dangling part. How? Because it's still attached all the way throughout the shchita. But because shchita eino isenipol, only misa isenipol, not shchita isenipol. So the question now is, then why does our sugya need to say it if I have two mishnayos that seem to be mefurish? Imaihi have amina. It's a good time to leave actually. Imaihi have amina mayhuchshuru abasar. If just these mishnayos, I would say, okay, maybe I'll be doichek and say I don't really see anything b'negiyat to an aver. Maybe the whole thing is talking about basar. Basar, vahuchshuru ktani. It's a lashon rabbin, so it would mean the basar and the aver. There's two things hanging over here: basar and aver. If you're telling me it's only talking about basar, so then why does it use the lashon of huchsharu? They both become huchshar. It should say huchshar, just the basar. Says the Gemara. Ma'od the same echad lebasar. There are two types of basar. One is basar aporish min habehema. It was hanging beforehand, before the shechita. V'chad the basar aporish min ha'aver, or basar that you removed from the aver menachai. Right? You have an aver menachai. You say, "Oh, this is tamei," and then you say, "No, I'm going to remove a piece from it. I'll show you. You want to see a funny halacha? Here's the aver menachai. It's mamish tamei." And now I'm going to grab a piece off of it, and now it's not tamei anymore. Why? Because it's only a piece of the aver menachai. And says the Gemara, "Umay umay dahai mahai." And why would one be? Why is basar from an aver any different than basar from a behema? So since this basar came from a very hard tumah called aver menachai. So maybe if you pull off a piece, it's still tamei. It should remain tamei. Kamash malon. We're gonna no. It doesn't work.
It doesn't remain tamei. The only talk over here is does it need a new hechsher?
Right.
It becomes tahor. Basar that comes off an aver we said is tahor.
Right. Do you need a hechsher in order to make it tamei?
What difference does it make with that it was coming from an aver that was chomer?
No, but
Maybe
maybe you don't have to be machshir.
Why?
Because it was tamei a minute ago. It has a tumah chumura. It comes from chomer. It goes from chomer to kal.
It goes from chomer to tahor and then royal to tabbatumah.
Kamash malon.
Why don't we-
So that's why, and therefore, and so he's coming by us in our sugya to say that this halacha by aver and by basar. Omer Rav Yosef, and the Rav Yitzchok bar Yosef b'Yadach. You should know that the second lashon in Rabbi Yochanan, that Eino Isa Nipol, is the right way. The Rabbi Bavachana Koikav will say, he also said it like the Sanyo. Ubasav asad treva loisei chelu. It says loisei chelu. Avio ever va'abasar medudalim bebehemo b'chayo ba'oiv u'shchotam shehin asurim. That if you have a dangling piece of meat and you shechted it, the shechita does not work. V'omer Rabbi Bavachana Rabbi Yochanan ein bohem elo mitzvahs prosh bilvad. You should know that the reason why you can't eat it is not because it's Issa Deraisa, it's just stay away from it. There's no Issa Ever Menachai. So what do you see from here? That Shechita doesn't do Nipul. That it's not as if it fell off before the Shechita. There's no Issa Ever Menachai. He's only saying, the reason why you shouldn't eat it, mitzvahs proish bilvad. Only stay away from it. Yosef Rav Yosef Kamed Ravuna Yosef Omar Rav Yudah Omar Rav Acholoi. If you do eat it, you get malchus. Meaning, when do you get malchus? No, only the deraisa. So in other words, he's saying it's the deraisa. We just said it's not a deraisa. It's nothing. You just stay away from it. Don't listen to him. It's not a deraisa. It's not a ever menachai. Now wait a minute, you said it's a deraisa. He's saying it's not a deraisa. I don't know what to do. Adrina Rav Yosef Lape, he turned around, he's mad. Omar Lei, my kushyo, ki amri ano b'misa, doisa nipol. When it dies, then you go retroactively, and it was detached retroactive, so it's ever menachai, and it's a deraisa, you get malchus. Ki amri iu b'shchita. Deino is a nipol. Shchita, it's not detached retroactively, and memela, you don't get malchus.